had fun last week creating texture like Eric Carle. Now, today what we're going to do is we're going to start cutting some papers. I'll give you some of the papers that I created textures on just to kind of make it spread farther for our grass and our sun. Okay, so you're going to start with a blank piece of paper today. Go ahead and write your name. I usually write mine either at the top or the bottom of the paper. I don't write it over the whole paper just because if I accidentally make a mistake on the other side of my paper, because this is going on the back, then I have a place still that I can use on the other side without it looking too out of place. I am going to give you a strip of paper. Now they are not your typical color of papers for the ground, but that's what we're going to use them for. They might be normal colors, they might not. It just depends what you get. And I don't want you just to glue it on like this. What I actually want you to do today is I want you to cut into this piece of paper. So I'm going to turn it this way. And remember, your scissors, your thumb goes in the small hole, 2 or 3, maybe even 4 fingers in the bigger hole, and keep the blades pointed away from you. Also watch this hand because you need to keep it away from the blades, and it has the job of holding the paper and maybe turning it. Now I don't want you to just cut straight across. You have a couple choices. You could cut a curvy, not too curvy, line where your scissors go back and forth and your other hand kind of helps turn the paper. You can do it like that. It's kind of save your extra piece. You can decide which one you like better for the bottom of your paper. Or you have the option of doing a zigzag line. So you could take your paper, hold it the same way, but this time you move your scissors, cut kind of straight lines, but then turn your paper. And you would do that all the way across, unless you feel like partway through that you would like to do kind of a curvy line. Maybe it switches to curvy partway through, but I think I'll finish with zigzag. All right, so then just like before, you can choose which one you like better. When you've decided, then you turn this over, and on the thin piece of paper, you are going to put plenty of glue all the way to the edges, and when you glue it onto the white paper, make sure the corners are matching the corner as close as you can. They may not perfectly match up, but you don't want to leave a big edge of white. To make sure it's sticking, turn it over and press on the other side of your paper. Okay? And when you turn it over, if it's not sticking, add more glue and just do that again. Now, if you are ready, you can start making the sun. And just like before, you might get normal colors for the sun, or you might choose something that's a little bit different. So whatever you choose, how about a green sun? What I'm going to do actually because I don't want a square sun, I'm going to turn it over, and on the other side of my paper, I am going to draw the biggest circle that I can, like this. It's a little bumpy because of the texture of the paint on there. I'm going to cut out my circle. It's easier to see it if you draw it on the blank side of the paper and not the painted side. And save my scrap. You never know, I might want that. Then somewhere along the top, I want to put my sun. I don't want to put it down here. Not that the sun couldn't be sun setting, but my animal might interfere with that. So I'm going to put my sun in a place, hopefully, that at least you'll be able to see most of it. Put some glue on that. Now, I think what I'm going to do, since I had some leftover paper from my grass, I am going to cut out some sun rays since I have some time. And I am going to just kind of cut some lines. Now, some people like to actually cut little triangles out. If you prefer to cut like triangles for your sun rays, I'll show you what each looks like here. I have plenty of extra, so I can decide which one I like better. So if I were doing the triangles, I can kind of just imagine. I'll put a few in there. You can kind of see what that's going to look like if I were to go all the way around. Or scoot those off to the side. Or I can use the little lines that I cut out and put those around the outside. I think either way would look really nice. So I think I'll do the lines this time. Instead of me trying to turn mine over and get glue all over my desk or my table, I'm going to just put a little glue on the back of each one. I might get a little glue on my fingers, but I'm not going to wash my hands just yet because I have a very good chance of getting more glue on my hands. And I don't want to spend my whole art time at the sink. So I'm going to wait before I wash my hands. Wait till we're all done. The nice thing about having little sticky fingers is it kind of helps you pick up those pieces off the table. I like that this kind of matches my grass paper, even though my grass is pink. If you remember the story, The Artist Who Painted a Blue Horse, artists have the freedom to choose whatever color they want. I know Eric Carle was inspired by the artist Franz Marc, who painted actually pictures of real blue horses. So that gives us permission to kind of use some fun or different colors. Now, if you feel like using normal colors, sometimes I feel like using normal colors too, so either way is fine. But know that there is not a wrong way. All right, I've got my sun done. And I'll keep those other scraps. I still might need those for my animal. Now that you have the sun and the grass completed, I want you to stop for the day, and next week we will work on the animal. So save your papers, and next week we'll finish our Eric Carle inspired collage.